So, I am pretty sure that everybody has been paying attention to what's been going on now that DJ Trump is in the office. Have y'all really been paying attention to it? Oh, yeah, by the way, hit the Cash App, support the show, support the movement. Shout out to Devon. He said, excellent breakdown. Appreciate you. Make sure y'all hit the Cash App and support the show, all of that good stuff. So I'm pretty sure y'all been paying attention. There's a couple of things that have people bent out of shape, and the left is just not getting it. They're just not getting it. It's really sad that they still have not understood. They still haven't understood, right? You have some people that are trying to say the moment that Trump signed the executive order getting rid of DEI, right? The first group of people that got upset, they jumped out the window and said, oh my God, Trump got rid of the Equal Employment Act of 1972. That's what they did. Soon as he signed that executive order getting rid of DEI, right? They immediately said, oh my God, he got rid of the Equal Employment Act of 1972. No, he didn't. The executive order that Donald Trump signed to get rid of DEI actually nullifies or gets rid of Lyndon Baines Johnson's executive order 11246, if I'm not mistaken, which that executive order was about affirmative action. All right. Now, here's a very easy way of looking at this, okay? Affirmative action, an executive order for affirmative action under LBJ, and then the subsequent executive order under Joe Biden for DEI, that actually goes against the Equal Employment Act of 1972. This is what's so hilarious about this. This is what's so funny about this. The moment that you have affirmative action or DEI, you are going against equal employment. Because the Equal Employment Act is basically stating that you can't be discriminated against because of your race, right? So guess what? If you sign an executive order for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and you're giving a job to a black person over a white person, and the black person is less qualified than the white person, that goes against the Equal Employment Act of 1972. Because you're not supposed to be favoring someone simply because of their race, gender, or sexuality in this case, because let's be real, there's a lot of rainbow people that have gotten jobs just because of DEI. And before any of you individuals come in here and try to get on me because I'm a black man, like, I don't want to hear that. Affirmative action has never helped black men. Nor has DEI ever helped black men. Nor do we want it or need it. Part of the reason you can see videos of China and look at how they have all of these different advancements, and right now America is falling behind with the rest of the world as far as education, as far as innovation, as far as job creation, as far as healthcare, as far as all of these things. The reason why our country is disintegrating is because since Lyndon Baines Johnson signed that affirmative action bullshit, you've been hiring people based on some sort of social justice agenda. Why is that problematic? Because you're not hiring the best and the brightest to do the jobs. This mentality of fairness has infiltrated every facet of American life, and this is the reason why America is on this steady decline. I don't care what color the airplane pilot is. I want him to be the best airplane pilot. I want him to be efficient at what he's doing. Now, the funny thing about the whole DEI thing is when you sit back and look at some of these people that were hired because of DEI, how does it always play out? They always be incompetent. They always end up in some sort of scandal. They're always coloring outside of the lines. They're always doing something that they have no business doing. But that's what you get when you give a person a position not based on merit, but based on identity. You want everybody to think that you're inclusive. You want everybody to think that you're tolerant. You want everybody to think that you're helping everyone. And let me tell you something. To all you black folks that's running around here crying because they got rid of DEI, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself, because what that basically is, it is the bigotry of low expectations. Any person of another race that thinks that a black person needs DEI in order to get a job is a bigot. Period. It means that they think you are so disadvantaged mentally that in order for you to get any position of significance is if they basically bend the rules for you. Now, my question is, how does that inspire excellence in the black community? Quick answer, it doesn't. It doesn't. And this is the reason why everywhere you look, where there's an abundance of black people in these blue cities, you got B-dubs running these cities into the damn ground. Jasmine Crockett, Letitia James, Fannie Willis, Lori Lightfoot, Super Mayor. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. And I ain't even bring up the district attorney up there in Chicago. Like, did they handle, like, look at all the stuff they've done, and none of them have been prosecuted. But when Kwame Kilpatrick was the mayor of Detroit and he got caught up in some mess, what did they do? What did they do? Meanwhile, Tiffany Henyard, she up there running that little town into the ground. It is the bigotry of low expectations. That's what it is. It is the bigotry of low expectations. It basically means that because you're black, you shouldn't be ranked off of your merit. You should be ranked off of the fact that you're black. Now, the irony of it is the same people that applaud DEI, the same people that promote DEI, the same people that advocate for DEI are also the same people that say they believe in Martin Luther King's dream. How do you believe in Martin Luther King's dream? Martin Luther King said he want to see a world where people are judged not by the color of their skin, but by what? The content of their character. So how do we end up in this space? I mean, some of y'all are so adamant about Dr. King's legacy that you're like, I'm not going to the inauguration and I'm not going to watch the inauguration because it's Martin Luther King Day. Well, if you believe in Martin Luther King that much, why don't you live by what he said? Why don't you live by what he said? But Angryman, come on, man. If we don't have DEI, then the white boys is going to get all of the jobs. Be better than the white boys. Uh-oh. Be better than the white boys. Be better than them. And if you are better than them and the white dude still gets chosen, then guess what? File suit. But see, the thing is, and I know this about y'all, I know the arguments that you make. I know the arguments that you raise. You want to say, this is going to be the argument, y'all. This is the argument they're going to raise. You're going to say, but Angryman, we've been discriminated against for so long. It's not fair. Which shines a light on what you really want. And I've been saying this for so long and everybody's been ignoring me. I've been saying for so long, black people don't want equality. Y'all don't want justice. Y'all don't want righteousness. You want your turn. You want everything to be the reverse of what it was in the past. You want to live in a world today where we openly discriminate against white people and give black people the advantage. Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth and say that's what you want. Just tell the truth and say that's what you want. Because at the end of the day, there's only one problem with your logic. Let's say that we did that. There's only one problem with your logic. Back in the day when they was being prejudiced towards you and giving the white people those jobs, at least they knew how to fucking do the job. So yeah, back in the day, you was getting discriminated against because they wouldn't hire you because you was black. But at least when they did hire them white folk, they knew how to do the damn job. Today, you want preference. You want preferential treatment. You want them to look at all the white dudes and the white women and say, nah, we gonna hire these black folk for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the only sad part is you don't know how to do the job. And so you have all of us looking crazy. You have all of us looking crazy. getting the job and getting promoted for the sake of diversity, and you're not even good at the damn job. You're not even good at the job. You suck at it. And so now, just like right now, because if you think, let me tell you something. Now that he has signed that order, getting rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, guess what? Now it's going to be twice as hard for the black folk or the non-white folk that have skills. It's going to be twice as hard for them. Not because people are racist, but because all of those DEI hires that were black, that sucked at their job, you have now given us a horrible reputation. You have now given black folk a horrible reputation when it comes to being in positions of power. So now, every person, every black person that rises through the ranks and earns their spot is going to be met with doubt. Is going to be looked at with the side eye. All because you wanted to have an advantage when you didn't deserve it. That's right. You set black folks back. Because guess what? If we go back to the Jim Crow era, before Lyndon Baines Johnson, them black folk back then worked their asses off. Them black folk back then did everything in their power to get every bit of education, to get every skill that they thought they needed. So I'm going to tell you right now, you Negroes today don't know how to do shit. You don't know how to do nothing, and what you do know how to do, you take no pride in it. You take absolutely no pride in it. Absolutely no pride in it. How do I know this? Am I just speculating? No. The reason why I know this is because every time I want to acquire the services of someone, I always try to give business to black folk. Always try to give business to black folk. And you know what black folk do? They disappoint me every time. And I just be shaking my head. I be shaking my head. I'll be like, damn, I should have known better. I should have known better. I'll be shaking my head. I tried to hire this black dude to do my landscaping, right? Because he always tried to do the job quick, he would always mess up. Like there's one part of my yard where there's a hill, right? And anybody that cuts grass know you can't use the thing that turns at like 360 degrees or whatever to cut grass. You can't use it on that hill, right? You gotta if you use it on that hill, if you don't cut it right, you'll make a bald spot on that surface, right? That Negro, he didn't care. That Negro was just trying to get the job done and get paid and going about his business, right? I stopped using them, right? I stopped using them to cut my grass. I found this company on I forgot the app that you go to find. I think it might have been Angie's List, right? I found this company, right? So the dude comes over to give me an estimate. It's a Mexican guy, right? Cool Mexican guy. He comes over, gives me an estimate, and he's like, okay, I'll start sending them out here every 2 weeks, every week. What I'm like, every 2 weeks is cool. You feel what I'm saying? So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna start. I was like, well, how much I owe you? He's like, oh, don't worry about that. I got your email. I'll bill you, right? So every once in a while, I won't see the email for the bill, right? I'll be scrolling through. So one time I'm scrolling through and I see the invoice, right? And I pay it once a month, right? So I see the invoice and I'm like, damn, I'm a month behind. Let me pay this joint, right? So I was like a month behind, so I just went ahead and paid the whole thing, right? But guess what? Even though I was behind, they haven't missed a day. They haven't missed a day. Bro, when I tell you they come on time, like clockwork, you feel me? Like that. You feel what I'm saying? But if that was niggas, it'd be a whole different story, bruh. It'd be a whole different story, which brings us to the other thing, right? With all of these people that's mad about immigration, right? And the first thing that they say is, Trump can't deport all of these people because if he does, who's going to pick the strawberries? Who's going to clean my house? Who's going to... Let me tell you something. If that came out your mouth, you are one of the most racist, prejudiced pieces of shit on planet Earth. Yo, do you realize that when Lincoln proposed signing the Emancipation Proclamation to free the slaves, that was the same argument that they had in the South? It was the same exact argument. It was the same exact argument. If you free the slaves, who's going to do all of the work? What? Look, let me tell you something. Because they keep saying this over and over again. They keep interviewing Congress. They keep interviewing congressmen and different politicians that support Trump, and they keep saying the same thing. Well, what do you think about Trump's policy with immigration? Trump don't have a problem with immigration. He has a problem with illegal immigration. He has a problem with illegal immigration. He doesn't have a problem with immigration. He doesn't have a problem with Latinos. Stop it. If he had a problem with Latinos, he wouldn't have nominated a Latino to be the Secretary of State. Like, what are we talking about? And I tell you something else too. To all you individuals that go to Home Depot looking to find Latinos that are here illegally because you know they're going to do the work for way cheaper, you're part of the problem too. You're part of the problem too, because I'm going to tell you something right now, and that's the whole reason why I wanted to tell that story about the landscapers that come here. Let me tell you something. When you do good work, you deserve good pay. Flat out. Flat out. When you do good work, you deserve good pay. So this idea that y'all want to continue to try to pay immigrants slave wages and take advantage of the fact that they're here illegally, you're part of the problem too. Your ass is part of the problem too. You're part of the problem too. You are a jerk. Okay? You're a jerk. Pay people what they're worth. Okay? And then tip them. I know that's a wild concept. Pay people what they're worth and then tip them. Pay like you weigh. Stop taking advantage. But this idea where, like, yo, we're in for 4 more years. And look, I'm gonna tell you something right now, to the Democrat Party, because you obviously didn't learn from history. You obviously didn't learn from history, right? To the Democrat Party and to the mainstream media, you're going to have to fall back on this Trump derangement syndrome, because your reputation cannot survive another 4 years. We just getting started and y'all ramping it up. Your reputation cannot survive. Your reputation was already gone to shit before the man got elected. And now what you want to do is you want to double down, triple down, quadruple down on, oh my God, to the point where you're accusing Elon Musk of being in allegiance with the short mustache guy. You're accusing Donald Trump of getting rid of civil rights acts. You got fake bishops standing up in front of a church. I didn't even know there were any female bishops. What is she even doing up there? Standing up there trying to talk down to the president, trying to give him a lecture when she's committing blasphemy in the middle of it. How are you a woke bishop? You better pray there ain't a hell with what you was sitting up there saying. Talking about TRANS children. There's no such thing. You sick, twisted individual. I couldn't believe my ears. Talk about lunacy and in poor taste. This man just won an election, just had an inauguration, and you gonna stand your ass up there and talk like that? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, wow. I was like, so that's what we doing? That's what we doing. Pure insanity. Pure lunacy. That's what we doing? And that right there was a reminder of how desperately we needed Trump in office. And look, Democrats, if y'all want to keep going, keep going. The only thing you're doing is you're guaranteeing that in 2028, you ain't going to win again. That's all you guaranteeing. And I pray that you don't. I pray that you don't. We need at least another 8 years, hopefully another 12 years of Republicans. If we can get over a decade of Republican with agendas like Donald Trump, we might be able to fix this shit. We might be able to fix it. Because y'all have lost y'all's minds, bruh. I be seeing clips on the internet and the stuff y'all be saying. Y'all have lost it, fam. This society has lost it. They've lost it. Where you got chicks sitting up on the whatever podcast getting so mad. There was a guy that said he wouldn't have sex with a certain type of woman. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And one chick got mad. I'm not going to sit here and listen to you talk about this. And got up and walked out. There are some of you that need to be put in nut houses. I'm not even joking at this point. if any other Americans feel like I feel, they got to be fed up. They got to be fed up. Like, make believe is over. Pretend is over. Some of y'all have a mental illness. We have to address this as a society. We got to address it. We got to address it. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Some of these people they've gone too far. Oh, let me not do that. Let me not do that. Let me point the finger. Let me do that. Did you see what Angryman did? Did you see what he did? Oh my God. Let me not do that. Oh my God. Y'all be careful giving each other high fives. Y'all be careful giving each other high fives. These people ain't playing. These people ain't playing. They losing their minds out here, bro. They losing their minds out here. They're losing their mind. I've never seen a time where you have a portion of the American public that it's almost like America is on fire. Certain parts is on fire, but it's almost like America's on fire, and you have Americans just running to the fire with jugs of gasoline. And I'll be watching, I'll be like, are you trying to destroy the country? And this goes back to what I said earlier about the average or the majority of people being stupid. This goes back because you have so many people out here that have a Duracell battery in their back and they don't even realize it. They don't even realize it. They have a Duracell battery in their back that has been placed there by the liberal left and the Democrats, and they're just running off of somebody else's agenda. And they don't even get it. They don't even understand it. You feel me? And when I look on social media, I'm like, wow. Y'all Democrats ain't been this mad since they freed the slaves. I think that was the last time that you were this angry. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And as much as you want to label Donald Trump a racist, I know the real reason why y'all don't like him. I know the real reason why y'all don't like him. I found out the real reason why y'all don't like him when I read his full page ad that he put in the New York Times. You remember the Central Park 5? Remember when he put that ad in the paper? You know, the thing that y'all always run to when you want to call him racist? Even though in that ad, he was basically making a plea to do something about Central Park because Black, white, Latin, and Asian families can't walk safely through the park and enjoy it. Why would a racist care if Black people can enjoy or walk through the park safely? But I digress. I learned by reading that letter the real reason why these people don't like him. Press 1 if y'all want to know why they really don't like Trump. In that article, he talks about, he says, what happened to our city, right? In fact, you know what? I'm going to pull the article up. I'm going to pull the article up and read it. So this is the ad. It says, bring back the death penalty, bring back our police. So right here he says, what has happened to our city over the past 10 years? What has happened to law and order, to the neighborhood cop we all trusted to safeguard our homes and families, the cop who had the power under the law to help us in times of danger, keep us safe from those who would prey on innocent lives to fulfill some distorted inner need? What has happened to the respect for authority, the fear of retribution by the courts, society, and the police for those who break the law, who wantonly trespass on the rights of others? What happened is the complete breakdown of life as we knew it. Many New York families, white, black, Hispanic, and Asian, have had to give up the pleasure of a leisurely stroll in the park at dusk, the Saturday visit to the playground with their families, the bike ride at dawn, or just sitting on their stoops, giving them up as hostages to a world ruled by the law of the streets, as roving bands of wild criminals roam our neighborhoods, dispensing their own vicious brand of twisted hatred on whomever they encounter. At what point did we cross the line from the fine and noble pursuit of genuine civil liberties to the reckless and dangerously permissive atmosphere which allows criminals of every age to beat and rape a helpless woman and then laugh at her family's anguish? And why do they laugh? They laugh because they know that soon, very soon, they will be returned to the streets to rape and maim or kill once again, and yet face no great personal risk to themselves. This does not sound like a racist. This sounds like a person who does not like criminals. Now, it just so happens that the criminals that inspired this were black. And I do mean criminals. If you go back and look at the videotape of their interviews, they admitted to what they were doing. Mayor Koch has stated that hate and rancor should be removed from our hearts. I do not think so. I want to hate these muggers and murderers. They should be forced to suffer, and when they kill, they should be executed for their crimes. They must serve as examples so that others will think long and hard before committing a crime or an act of violence. Yes, Mayor Koch, I want to hate these deleters and always will. I am not looking to psychoanalyze or understand them. I am looking to punish them. If the punishment is strong, the attacks on innocent people will stop. I recently watched a newscast trying to explain the anger in these young men. I no longer want to understand their anger. I want them to understand our anger. I want them to be afraid. How can our great society tolerate the continued brutalization of its citizens by crazed misfits? Criminals must be told that their civil liberties end when an attack on our safety begins. And here's where I learned why they don't like Donald Trump. When I was a young man, when I was young, I sat in a diner with my father and witnessed two young bullies cursing and threatening a very frightened waitress. Two cops rushed in, lifted up the thugs, and threw them out the door, warning them never to cause trouble again. I miss the feeling of security New York's finest once gave to the citizens of this city. Now, that little story right there tells me one thing about Donald Trump. He's a true believer. And that's why they don't like him. This is why the other politicians don't like him. The other politicians are not true believers. The other politicians pay lip service. They talk about the American dream. They talk about liberty and justice for all. They talk about freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms. They talk about the Constitution and its many amendments. They talk about the Declaration of Independence. They talk about all of those different things, but they don't really believe in it. You know how I know they don't believe in it? Because they keep accusing the J6 individuals of being criminals when our very founding fathers stated very clearly that when the government becomes tyrants, it is the duty of Americans to do the very thing that those individuals were accused of that they really didn't do. That's why I'm laughing at this whole situation when it first happened. Because number one, they were not there with any weapons. But if they were there with weapons, this is literally what Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin said that Americans are supposed to do when their government is no longer being governed by the people. These politicians do not believe in America. They do not believe in the American dream. Donald Trump does, and that's why they don't like him. That's why they don't like him. Everything they accuse him of is really what they believe in. So when they say he's trying to end democracy, it's projection. When they say he doesn't care about the Constitution, it's projection. When they say he doesn't care about the rule of law, it's projection. They're literally accusing him of everything that they believe in. They don't care about freedom of speech, which is why they're always trying to take it from you. They don't care about your right to bear arms, which is why they're always trying to take that from you. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the Bill of Rights. They don't care about the Declaration of Independence. They don't care. They don't. They don't. The only thing they care about is lining their fucking pockets so that they can live like kings off of us. And that's why they hate Donald Trump, because Donald Trump doesn't have to live like a king off of us. Donald Trump made his money in the private sector. And the whole reason why he decided to run for president is the very same reason that he wrote that damn letter and sent that to be published in the New York Times, because he got sick of watching our country constantly decline. That's the entire reason he did it. And this is why they don't like him. This is why they can't stand him. This is why they can't stand him. If you notice, when it comes to the people that oppose Donald Trump, what you'll find is this. Most of the people that oppose him are rich. Most of the people that oppose him are either rich politicians or rich celebrities. So guess what? When Joe Biden was in office, they didn't give a damn what Joe Biden was doing. They didn't give a damn about inflation. They didn't give a damn. Let me tell you something. If you are a multi-millionaire, you don't give a damn about inflation. You don't give a damn about the cost of eggs. You probably don't even know how much eggs cost. You don't give a damn about the cost of milk. You don't give a damn about energy cost or how much your car insurance is. You don't give a damn about none of that if you're a multi-millionaire, because it does not affect you. The only two groups of people that did not give a damn what Joe Biden was either the super rich or the super broke. But I can guarantee you, blue collar, working class people gave a damn what Joe Biden was doing. Blue collar, working class people give a damn about having Donald Trump in office. The people that don't like Donald Trump are going to be politicians that are just about furthering their own cause, celebrities that are just about furthering their own cause, and broke-ass individuals that are sitting around waiting for a damn government handout. Those are the three groups of people that will always have a problem with Donald Trump. Those are the three groups. Politicians that are about furthering their own cause, that don't really give a shit about the country. Celebrities that are about furthering their own cause, that don't really give a shit about the country. And broke welfare recipients who don't have enough sense to give a damn about the country. Those are the three groups. Those are the three groups. If you're a working class person, if you're a working class person, a blue collar person, a person who is ambitious, a person who is industrious, a person who is an entrepreneur or has aspirations of being an entrepreneur, the best president for you to have in office is Donald Trump. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. And they'll even get up there and try to tell you a lie about that. They'll sit up there and try to say to you that Donald Trump is the worst president for working class people. They'll sit up there and say that foolishness. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is telling the world, look, if you come here to America to build your factories, you will enjoy one of the lowest tax rates in the world. Now, how does the mainstream media spin that? Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to his billionaire buddies. Instead of Donald Trump is giving a tax break to people who own businesses that hire people. If the whole world knows that they can get a lower tax rate by building their products here, by bringing their factories and manufacturing here, you will do two things with that move. One, you will make America an industrial country again where we actually build shit here. Two, you will actually inspire growth in the job market, which will help the working class, which will help the middle class, which will help the average everyday working person. You implement a new energy policy which lowers the cost of oil, lowers the cost of gas. Not only have you reinvigorated the industrial part of America, but you're also reinvigorating commerce when it comes to transporting goods and services across the country. You are literally giving the economy an adrenaline shot. And they hate him for it. And they hate him for it. He is hands down going to go down in history. For anybody with any common sense, anybody with any real intelligence can look at it and say, you know what? He is going to go down in history as one of the greatest presidents that we've ever had, and he won't get his due credit for it. Because of all of these snakes and vultures. But here's the funny thing. I hope you all are paying attention. I hope you're all paying attention. If you look at what he did day one, day two, it ain't even been a week. It ain't even been a week. Already they're rounding up these illegal immigrants that were not supposed to be in this country. They're already rounding them up. He's already shut down the DEI across the board. He's already made significant changes that put us on a better path, and it ain't even been a week. This is what happens when you get someone in office that actually gives a damn about the people. Say what you want to say. You could say you hate him. You could say you don't like him. You could come with all of that propaganda, but I'm sorry. Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. Money talks and bullshit walks. You can say what you want to say, but you'll never convince me that he's a horrible president. You'll never do it. Because I have other presidents to compare him to. Bill Clinton damn near destroyed our future as Gen Xers. with some of the deals he made. Joe Biden signed that freaking crime bill and basically incentivized the privatized prison industry. We have less than 8% of the world's population here in America, but we have 25% of the world's prisoners. Joe Biden drafting that bill and Bill Clinton signing it into the law, you made prison a business. You pieces of shit. Hillary Clinton dubbed young black men super predators. So if you want to be mad at somebody, don't be running around mad at Donald Trump because of a article he put in the New York Times. Be mad at the individual who was clear in her speech. Be mad at Joe Biden who was clear in his speech. Not to mention this entire war that was raged against men by Hillary Clinton, using her husband as a proxy for all of her feminist gynocratic BS. This is where you get the Violence Against Women Act, which makes men and women unequal in the law, which is unconstitutional. Let's not forget about the 3-strike rule that ended up having nonviolent offenders doing 25 to life, which, by the way, Donald Trump signed the First Step Act that was brought to him by Tim Scott, which actually released a lot of those prisoners, 90% of which were black. Let's not forget about the deadbeat laws that has men in all kinds of goofy situations as it pertains to this child support crap. All of this was under Bill Clinton, a Democrat that you gave a pass to because he played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall wearing shades and claimed he smoked weed but didn't inhale. You were calling him the first black president. How do I know all of this? Is it because I did my research? No, it's because I lived through it. I had a union job that paid well. Right? I had a union job that paid well until old Bill Clinton got to signing shit. They made it so easy for businesses to take their companies out of the country to get basically slave labor. The company that I worked for, they shipped their entire plant to Mexico to get cheaper labor because they got tired of paying us a living wage. They got tired of us having a union. I could have retired with that company. But instead, what ends up happening is I get laid off because now the company wants to operate in Mexico. But guess what happened when they wanted cheaper labor? They ended up with less of a product. The quality wasn't good. And that particular company I worked for was a textile plant. We had contracts with Nike, Reebok, all of these different companies. We made t-shirts, sweats, hoodies. They sent that shit to Mexico, and the work was so horrible they started calling us back to work temporarily to try to fix what they messed up down there, which didn't work because the amount of money it took them to do all of that crap and the amount of money that they lost on all of that damaged merchandise bankrupted them. Bankrupted them. You have areas in Virginia where they had textile plants, furniture factories that went out of business, either because they shipped their business to another country or they went bankrupt from trying to ship their businesses to another country. And then you see that whole area that used to be a thriving area of white and black families, white and black people owning homes, owning land, thriving, doing well for themselves. That whole area went to shit after that. Went to shit after that and ended up being drug infested because, hell, if people can't find jobs, what are they going to do? This is under Bill Clinton. I remember a time in America when I first started working. If I went to a job and I didn't like that job, I could go to that job 6 o'clock that morning. By 7 o'clock, realize I don't like the damn job. By that evening, I'd have another job to work at tomorrow. I quit at noon, go apply for another job around 1 o'clock, get hired, and be ready to go to work the next day. Went from that to, only place you can get a job is a temp agency. Why? Because anytime you have something like that happen, here come the vultures. Here come the people that want to take advantage of it. So now you got this emergence of temp agencies. And what does a temp agency do? They hire you at $2 or $3 less than what that company pays. The temp agency and the company are in cahoots with each other. The company says, hey, temp agency, send us workers. We pay $15 an hour, but you tell the workers that they get $12 an hour, we'll give you the other $3. And because they're through a temp agency, we don't have to provide them with insurance or any other benefits. And we'll tell them that they have to work through the temp agency for 90 days until they've proven themselves, and then we'll hire them on, but they never do. They get your labor and don't have to offer you any benefits. And before the 90 days is up, they contact you and tell you your assignment is ended, and then the temp agency tries to find you another assignment somewhere else. That little thing right there decimated the middle class. That little synopsis I gave you decimated the middle class. Not long after that, you had the housing crash. Not too long, because what I'm talking about right there is late 90s, early 2000s. By the time you get around to 2008, then you have the housing crash. And that's why I always say the zenith of American society, 95, 96. 95, 96. If you go into a mall today, it doesn't look the way it did in 95. If you look around at your cities and towns and you look, not the bigger cities, but you look around at some of these towns or whatever, and what do you see? What do you see? You see a bunch of storage unit businesses. You see a bunch of lowbrow businesses. You don't see thriving businesses the way you did in 95. The quality of the food in these restaurants and fast food places is nowhere near what it was in 95. If I was able to get in the DeLorean and take some of you back in time and let you eat a burger from Burger King in 95, and then come back to today and let you eat a burger, if you can find a Burger King, let you eat a burger from Burger King today, you puke. You puke. And why should the celebrities care? They're not living at that level. Why should the politicians care? They're not living at that level. And so what if the country goes to shit? They can get on their private jets and go to another country. They don't give a damn. They don't care. They don't care. They could care less because it doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect them in no way, shape, or form, so they don't care. That's why I laughed every time I saw a celebrity standing up there advocating for Kamala Harris. Are you serious? DL Hughley, do you think I think that we live in the same world? Do you think I think for 1 second that you live at the same level as regular folk? I know you don't. Ricky Smiley, do you think I think that you live at the same level as regular folk? None of those celebrities that advocated for her live down here at the regular level. They don't. They can do what they want to do. They have become, celebrities and politicians have become the new royal order in this country. They have become the dukes and earls and the blue bloods of this country, which, might I add, was never supposed to happen. The entire reason the forefathers left England is because of that bullshit. So now you have celebrities and politicians that are above the law. Hell, some of y'all are still shocked that Puffy's in jail. Some of y'all are still shocked about that. You're still shocked that Weinstein got in trouble. Look at all of these politicians. Look at people like Dr. Fauci and all of these individuals. The day I see any of them on trial, I'll be shocked. The day I see any of them even get charged with a crime, I will be shocked. But your ass better not steal a pack of bubble gum. You better not steal a loaf of bread. And keep in mind, it ain't just money. It ain't just money to get you up there. It's a club. It's a damn club. And if you didn't think it was a club, all you got to do is sit back and look at all of them people you saw jumping out there for Kamala. People that you're like, okay, well, when do y'all run in circles together? When the hell has usually back in the day, you would see politicians cool with celebrities because they ran in the same circles. Right? If you see Donald Trump and Mike Tyson cool with each other, it makes sense. It makes sense. Donald Trump's a real estate guy, owns a bunch of hotels, high-end hotels. Mike Tyson is the world champ. Both of them are from New York. It makes sense. When the hell is Kamala Harris and Glorilla gonna bump into each other? When the hell is Kamala Harris and Sexy Red gonna bump into each other? When the hell is Kamala Harris and Meg Thee Stallion gonna bump into each other? You have no idea how sick of this crap I am. I am extremely sick of it. I'm extremely sick of it. Extremely sick of it. Shout out to Corbin. He said, keep spitting facts. Shout out to Danny Shade. Said, black people don't like to compete. That's facts. Shout out to Deshaun. Said, and let's not forget the ERS, ending Fed income taxes if possible. Love to hear your thoughts on that issue. Well, we gonna cross our fingers and wait on that one. Shout out to Andre. Shout out to Pennsylvania. Said you should strive to be the best in your craft, not just the best amongst your race, but the best above everyone else. That is something to be proud of. That's facts. Shout out to Deborah. Said reason number 784 why Trump won. Facts. Shout out to Focus. Said also seeing JD Vance family look very wholesome. We finally back to normalcy. Shout out to Billy Nico. He said, I watched the Blackout show on Earn Your Leisure last night and was highly disappointed. It appears they've fallen into fear-mongering and maybe even Trump derangement syndrome. Great show, AM. Appreciate you, bro. Yo, shout out to Sean. He said, thank you for saying what needs to be said. Appreciate you, bro.
Here we go again. $100 boss up. Going down. Stack up and match up.
Shout out to Pennsylvania again. Said, kid raised his hand in class, CNN. You know what kid threatens teacher. Hilarious. Shout out to West Coast Creole. Said, I'm looking forward to Trump releasing the RFK, JFK, and MLK files. Shout out to Yossi. Said, tell it, brother, tell it. Shout out to the lowly one. Said we had a Ford plant in Norfolk a while back. It's been gone for quite a while. Yep. Shout out to H. Chris Singleton. Said, AM, you bringing back memories talking about the temp agencies keep dropping gems. Appreciate you. Let's see. Shout out to Jamil. Said, keeping it 100. Stay cooking, bruh. Shout out to Crocodile Tears. Said, thank you. Shout out to Shamar. Said, for the cooking show. Shout out to John Henry. Said, tell him about the gun line, boss.
Tell him about the gun line, boss.
Shout out to Mogul Mays. He said, was a kid, and I remember everyday people thriving. Yeah. Yes. See, that's the America I come from. You feel me? Shout out to Leon. He said, gift. Appreciate it. That's the America I come from. See, it's hard to lie to us Gen Xers. It's hard to lie to us Gen Xers because we know what time it is. Shout out to J-Bay. It's hard to lie to us. We remember when Little Caesars had good pizza. We remember when people used to throw their kids a birthday party at Pizza Hut. We remember what it smelled like when you walked through the doors of Blockbuster Video. We remember what it was like when you went to the movie theater and it was packed. Okay? We remember what it was like to hang out in the mall and people would be there shopping and some people would just be there hanging out. We remember it all. We remember it. We remember America the Beautiful, not what these lunatics are trying to turn America into. We remember when you walked around and you didn't have to worry about misgendering somebody. We remember when you didn't have to worry about somebody's pronouns. We remember riding bikes to our friend's house to play Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. We remember. We remember the ice cream man running to grab some money or running to your grandmother or one of your parents. The ice cream man coming, I need some money, and then running to catch the ice cream. We remember all of this. We remember the summers going to Carowinds, King's Dominion, Hershey Park, Six Flags over Georgia, Coney Island. We remember all of this. Remember all of this. We remember when you can get in your car and go scoop up your homeboys. And it was 5 of you in the car, and all they had to do was chip in $2 a piece, and you had enough gas money to go where you needed to go. We remember. We remember going to the club and it cost $10 to get in. I remember when a fifth of Hennessy was $5 and change. You feel me? I remember when Pepsi came in a glass bottle. I remember when a pack of cigarettes was $5. I remember when going to the movies was $5. Hell, if you went to a matinee, it was $2.50. I remember when you went to the movies, all you needed was $20. $20, you could get you a ticket, You could get you some popcorn, a soda, and some jujubes. I remember when $100 was enough to go out and have a ball. I remember. I remember when cigarettes were so cheap, you could turn a pack of Newports to a party pack. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Hell, I remember when I could feed myself, the woman I was in a relationship with, and 2 kids for dinner for $20. I remember going to the grocery store and filling up your cart for $100. $100. I'll take it even a step further. I remember when black people were ashamed to use food stamps. I remember when black women didn't have kids until they was married. I remember when living in the projects was shameful. And every black person that lived in the projects was working their ass off to get the hell out of the projects. I remember when you didn't know when family members went to prison. Because if you had a family member that went to prison, nobody talked about it. They would always say that that person went to the military or that person went down south to live or went up north to live. You didn't know about it. Black people didn't talk about it. Nobody celebrated when you got out of prison. We celebrated when you went to college. We celebrated when you went into the military and then you came home in your uniform. We celebrated that. We celebrated when you bought a house. We celebrated when you got a new car. We celebrated when you got married. We celebrated when you had a child in a marriage. In fact, I come from a family that didn't have baby showers. You know why? You know why? Because they didn't believe in buying stuff for the baby until the baby was actually born. If you know, you know. I remember when a woman in her 20s or her 30s, if she didn't clean her house and Big Mama came to visit, she would talk shit to her and make her clean her damn house. I remember when if you were a father and you didn't take care of your children, the whole family shunned you. The whole family ostracized you. The whole family wouldn't have nothing to do with you. I come from a family where if all you did was get in trouble and go in and out of jail and all of that foolishness, they would tell you as a kid, if so-and-so knock on the door, don't let him in. Because back then, if you wasn't shit in a black family, the black family cut you off and didn't have nothing to do with you. In fact, I come from an era where all these niggas you see acting a damn fool. The Bootsies, the Glorrillas, the Meg the Stallions, the Sexy Reds, all of these ghetto ass, hood ass, ignorant ass niggas. If you was hanging around them, my family would tell you flat out, what the hell you doing hanging around them? I remember a time where black people looked at black folks that act like that as shameful. And what we've done as black folks is we've allowed that group of riffraff to outbreed us. And now they're trying to commandeer the black identity and make it seem like we've always been like that. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit. We wasn't always like that. I've seen it in my lifetime. Black folks was dignified, hardworking. And if you had an uncle or a grandfather or anybody that did not have a good education, that didn't have a high school diploma, they would talk shit to you if you didn't take your ass to school and get your education. Back then, those black folks, they knew there was prejudiced white folk, but they also knew there were white folks that wasn't prejudiced. And regardless of whether white folk were prejudiced or not, black folk didn't stop striving to be more. We didn't use that as an excuse. We didn't use that as an excuse to be lazy and shiftless. We didn't blame white folk for our conditions. Not after the civil rights era. Because that fight had already been fought. That fight had already been fought. But see, niggas ain't never satisfied. Niggas ain't never satisfied. When black folks couldn't go to the same schools as white folks, oh, the white folks getting a better education. The moment integration happened and black folks can go to the school with white folks, oh, the school system sucks. Which one is it? Which one is it? I got a great education. I got a great education as a youngin'. I know how to read. I know how to write. I know proper grammar. I know the history of this country. I know world history. I had an Encyclopedia Britannica in my home. I got a great education. The reason why your education sucks nowadays is because you spend too much time focused on fantasy. You spend too much time focused on bullshit. Spend too much time focused on trying to teach kids about identity and gender and race theory and all of that bullshit instead of teaching them how to read, teaching them how to write, teaching them how to add, teaching them their history, teaching them the shit they need to know. You want to implement something in the school system? Implement learning how to build your credit. Implement how to manage your money. And for God's sake, put wood shop and home ec back in the damn schools. You want to teach them something? To this day, the only reason I can cook is because of home ec. To this day, part of the reason I can put shit together and build shit is because of wood shop. Watch this. I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you how sad. I'm gonna show you how sad it's gotten. I'm gonna show you how sad it's gotten. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this video real quick.
So the fact that
Watch this. This right here is Cartier family reviewing Back Down by 50 Cent. Watch what he say. Now, in the video Back Down, 50 Cent is writing his lyrics down. He's writing them in cursive. Watch what they say.
Cops hold you down, they fear for your life.
Well, right in person.
Yeah. Right, I ain't going nowhere. I done told you.
He said they writing in cursive.
Not gonna like you. I know.
Y'all gonna be on my ass, but I cannot write every single letter in the alphabet in cursive.
I can't write in cursive. I can write my name.
Y'all can't write in cursive?
I can write my name, but not the whole alphabet.
Like just like it's so tedious to me.
It's like a more effort. And
So the fact that it's doing that,
sloppy.
it's easier to write in cursive than write.
oh, you tweet.
If you got the hang of it,
because you got good handwriting. So to hear you say that is crazy.
I can't.
These niggas is damn near grown. And they can't write in cursive. They are damn near grown. Or matter of fact, they are grown. Let's be real. They grown. And they can't even write in cursive. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Shout out to Gone Postal. Shout out to D. Anthony. He said, House Mormont remembers. The North remembers. Shout out to Charles. He said, I remember gas at 40 cents a gallon. Woo! I don't remember 40 cents. I remember 99 cents a gallon. Yeah, I remember 89 cents a gallon. Shout out to Marcus. He said, I remember when grandma wasn't younger than 40. Facts. Shout out to the Real Gospel Chops. He said, speak on it. Shout out to Calvin. He said, Cook, AM, loving the show. It's amazing. It's amazing that anybody exists that can't write in cursive. It shows you just how far the school system has fallen. Shows you just how far the school system has fallen. Or write a letter in cursive. I could write a whole book in cursive. But you know why 50 Cent can write like that? You know why I can write like that? You know why my wife can write like that? Yo, I know people that can write beautiful cursive. You know why? Let me tell you something. To all you Gen Xers, especially if you was around a bunch of pro-black Negroes that love to complain about the country and all of that crap, let me tell you something. The one thing that our forebearers, the one thing that the greatest generation and the silent generation did for us, that we will have to be eternally thankful for, is they made for damn sure that we got an education. They went through some shit, but they made sure that we were able to get an education. Because I'm here to tell you right now, if it wasn't for that education, a lot of us wouldn't have been able to do shit. A lot of us wouldn't be able to do shit. And the saddest part about it is you got Negroes in my age bracket today that say they don't read. Do you have any idea how much power is in reading? Do you have any earthly idea? I can tell you right now, as the Angryman sitting here before you right now, if it were not for reading, I would not be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for reading. But see, a lot of niggas, they spend so much time complaining about everything that's wrong with the country, they never appreciate what's right with the country. They never appreciate what's right about it. And they squander the opportunity that's available to them. They squander it. Is there opposition? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, there's opposition. But nothing in life that is worth having is ever going to be easy. Ever. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. Anything worth having is worth working for. That is the reason why you see people that are welfare recipients. That's why they remain in the state that they remain in. Anybody with any level of intelligence can see what that is. You're a junkie And what they're doing is they're giving you a fix. They're giving you just enough to get you by. So you got to come right back. And it is that system, it is that ideology that has made you a slave to the Democrat Party. That's why you fight for them so hard. Because they're your pusher, man. They're giving you that fix. They're making sure that your rent is paid on the first. They're making sure that your baby's got milk. They're making sure that you got food on the table. And guess what? As long as you're being pacified like that, you will never be able to achieve the actual American dream. You'll never be able to achieve it. Ever. They keep you dependent on that bullshit until it gets to the point where you can't live without it. You can't live without it. You don't know how many times I've explained this to black people that I know. I've explained it to them numerous times, but they don't want to hear it because the appeal of free shit is just too enticing. But if they utilized their education and picked up a book, like, say, the 48 Laws of Power, they'll find out real quick. One of the laws says, despise the free lunch. Nothing in life is free. Nothing. Everything that is free comes at a cost. Even if you don't know what the cost is. Everything that is free comes at a cost. In fact, I side-eye anybody that wants to give me some shit for free. I side-eye anybody that wants to give me some shit for free. Shout out to Will. He said, Gen X, the best generation ever. We had cursive letters in our classrooms growing up. Salute AM and the BINO Nation. Shout out to Abdul. I think that's how you pronounce that. Curtis Jackson is a high school dropout who grew up without a mom and dad and could write his lyrics in cursive. Facts. Facts. Even our high school dropouts have education. Even our high school dropouts have an education. That's what's so hilarious about. Bro, we got high school dropouts in this country that became multimillionaires. More than you know. Like, we got countless high school dropouts that became multimillionaires. Shout out to Mark G. Said cursive writing is actually proper writing. Exactly. Exactly. So the funniest thing about it is if you can't write in cursive, you can't write. Because print is not writing. Let's see. JM said a generation that can't even sign their name. And you know what's funny? What's funny is it's something that can be fixed. If you went to school and you did not, if you went to school and they didn't teach you to write in cursive, nothing's stopping you from learning except you. Nothing's stopping you from learning except you. You can still learn. You're never too old to learn. You're never too old to learn. Just another skill to add to the repertoire. But yo, I've been on here long enough running my mouth. Shout out to everybody in the building that came through. I appreciate you guys. Real talk. Make sure you go check out my book, which is something else I wouldn't be able to do if I didn't have a decent education. I damn sure wouldn't have been able to write a book. Make sure you guys go check out my book, The Angryman Standard. All you have to do is look it up on Amazon and it will come up. Shout out to Danny Shade, said black people are offended by everything and ashamed of nothing. Woo! 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 Oh my God.
I've been doing it for a long time.
You cooking. Cooking. Woo! Yo, shout out to everybody in the building for supporting the show. I appreciate you guys. If you want to check out the merchandise, I keep forgetting to put the links up here so it'll pop up on the screen. But if you want to check out the merchandise, all you have to do is go to shopBinoNation.com. Again, that is shopBinoNation.com. Deshaun, make sure you email me so we can figure out what's going on with your shirts, bro. Other than that, man, salute to everybody. I appreciate y'all for hitting the like button. Appreciate everybody for supporting the show. Appreciate the sponsors. I'm going to be back at you guys tomorrow, so be on the lookout for me. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?